Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dan French. Sorry about that. We had some noise or some issues with sound. This is another French Workbench podcast here on a Saturday. This channel is the most real and behind-the-scenes information regarding real estate financing, money talk, entrepreneurs, educating through on-job experiences here in Las Vegas. In studio, I have my good friend here, Matt Scheel. He's back on a Saturday. Matt, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm really well, thank you, Dan. Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Love the vibe. There's a vibe in Vegas this weekend.
Oh, man, there's definitely a vibe in Vegas, definitely. And we're starting to see a lot of things happening around Las Vegas where you're starting to see that activity come up. We also have a lot of people performing this weekend, right?
So I think Justin Bieber was playing at the Wynn last night, wasn't he?
Justin Bieber was playing at the Wynn?
Yeah, Justin Bieber.
Okay.
And tonight, Bruno Mars is playing this weekend.
Gotcha.
I am going to my first country concert.
Oh, you
tonight.
are?
Yeah, I'm going to Garth Brooks.
Oh, yeah? Have you ever been to Garth Brooks, man?
No, I don't even know any of his songs. Hey, but I got a couple free tickets.
Yeah. So who hooked you up, man?
So a friend of mine, he bought some tickets a while ago.
Yeah.
And one of the couples can't go. And so we're going to go do it up. We had some seats, and then we managed to upgrade the seats. So we got some good seats.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to be like properly prepared. So this week I went to Boot Barn, and I thought I'm going to get some cowboy shit and cowboy up.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, that stuff's expensive.
Is it really, huh?
Dude, the boots are like $600 minimum.
Yeah.
And that's not even the fancy boots.
Yeah.
So
have you been shopping ever for any type of cowboy boots? Do you really have to wear the cowboy boots?
I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun. It was a little quick fantasy that I nipped in the bud.
Yeah.
But the thing is also, each year I try to become a little bit more American or do some American stuff. And I definitely need to get a pair of cowboy boots at some point.
Yeah, I think it's crazy, man, because you look at Garth Brooks and you don't hear about them for a while. Obviously, you had the pandemic last year, but you got Garth Brooks. They got the big fight going on too, man. The McGregor and Poirier.
So let me tell you why. So a client of mine, I spoke to them this morning, and they had a bit of a palaver yesterday. The power went out for their neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, yesterday it was at least 115.
Yeah.
And in my truck, I have a big black truck, which is not smart in the summer, but it looks good.
Yeah.
And the temperature, when it was parked outside a house that I was showing, when I came back, the thermometer said 126 degrees.
126 degrees.
Where the temperature sensor was.
Wow.
Obviously, it wasn't 126.
Yeah.
But because it's been a hot day. So my client, he went to a casino to sit it out because there was no AC in his house.
Yeah.
And then initially he was told it wouldn't be fixed to the next day by the power company.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to Sam's Town. He thought, I'm going to book a room to save the day with his wife.
Dude, Sam's Town's not in the best location, right?
It's not the best. Like on the Monopoly board, it's the Bronx.
Yeah.
You know, in America. In England, it would be Old Kent Lane, right?
Yeah.
So it's not the best, but hey, it's cool. It's cheap and cheerful.
Yeah.
But not tonight because town is so packed and the hotels are so full.
Yeah.
That one night stay at Sam's Town tonight is $350.
Wow.
So that's kind of crappy place, but I mean it's all right. It's not fair, but it's not on the strip.
Yeah, it's not on the
strip. And
strip.
so I bet it's really expensive. And you know, we need it. Vegas needs it. We need to be, Vegas always comes back real quick.
Yeah.
And as long as we can keep going, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think too. You look at Vegas, and it's there's a lot of activity going on. One of the biggest, probably the biggest weekends that we've had in a long time here. Because I can't remember when it was this packed.
Yeah, no, probably. This is a big one, and also it's the baptism of the Raiders Stadium.
Yeah.
The Allegiant Stadium, because they've never actually held a big event there yet.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down. Obviously, they've put a lot of planning into the logistics, but one thing that I think is a bit sneaky about the Raiders Stadium
Yeah.
is that they don't have any parking.
Yeah, well, they do have it on the outsides. Don't? It's
You
not a
know
lot.
what?
Not a lot, huh?
So what they're doing is we got I booked a limo because you can't get an Uber or Lyft anymore because people are at home collecting unemployment and you cannot get an Uber or Lyft in town to save your life when you need one.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people that are driving are going to have to park in the casinos. Yeah. So what I heard that the casinos are doing this evening is they're jacking up the parking rate.
The prices.
So like, I heard $50 to $100 to park your car. Yeah. Which is like daylight robbery, like a full-on scalping.
Oh, absolutely.
So anyway, we'll see how it works out. So we got a limo there. I don't know how we're going to get back. I thought we'd just kind of wing it at the end.
Yeah, right.
Probably going to be, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, it's good luck getting like a Uber or something, right? I know it's tough, right?
We'll figure it out. It'll be fun.
Is it just, how many people are going?
So I'm in a party of 6. And,
wow.
I got me a cowgirl.
Oh, you got your cowgirl.
I got a cowgirl. I got her a cow hat. I mean, did you say cow hat?
Yeah, you can say cow hat.
It's a cow hat. I got a cow hat from a cowgirl. Yee-haw! I mean, they don't do that, do they? I'm going to try it.
You're going to try it. Well, guys, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. Also, we have a lot of good information today. We're going to talk about an update, what's going on in the housing market. And also what we're going to talk about today is where new homes are being brought up at. And a lot of good information. You know, Matt's going to give us give us the scoop, Matt. So what's going on, buddy?
So new homes in Las Vegas. Well, I mean, there's still a fair amount of space left to develop in Las Vegas. Yeah. But land's gone up a lot. Sure. And you know, it's cool having a new home. Like a new home is, you know, it's brand new. No one else's toenails are in the carpet. It's, you know, very clean and tidy. New areas where, I mean, new homes have been built all over the valley. A few like main hotspots are like in Henderson. Sure. Inspirada is blowing up. Yeah. And that's probably going to keep going for like another 5 years. If you look at Inspirada on the map, it's like bordered by some mountains. Mm-hmm. And when you look on Google Earth now for Inspirada, you'll see that there's a lot of desert there. And you drive there, there's quite a bit of desert. That's all going to get developed. Mm-hmm. And that's like one of the last major like growth spots inside Henderson, aside from another community called Cadence, which is on the way to Lake Las Vegas. So that's 2 large pockets of land that are going to be completely developed. And it's probably going to take about 5 years to build them out. But when it's done, it's done. They're not building any more land. And, you know, I would expect that those areas, once they're fully built out, you're going to see like a bump in the pricing. Because
we're seeing that now, though, aren't we? I mean, prices right now are like...
Okay, so
they're pretty high, man.
But when I say a bump in the pricing, what I'm saying is that, okay, so you got Henderson. You got to remember that I always refer to like the Vegas Valley and Henderson, kind of like a fishbowl, and it's like surrounded by mountains, and also the Bureau of Land Management land. Sure. So people want to live in that fishbowl. So when that fishbowl is filled up, and how long is that going to take? Maybe 10 years, 5 to 10 years, possibly. Yeah. Now, like in California, as California grew, people pushed further out. Kind of like one example is like San Bernardino Valley. You know, when you wind down into Cali. Yeah, going through that big mountain right there. When I moved here in 2003, when you come out of that valley and you head into like what I consider like you're in California. Barstow is California. Yeah. But whenever I'm driving to LA or California, I always consider that I'm in California once I get out the San Bernardino Valley, because you're like in California. Yeah. But not to like say anything negative about Barstow, right? But so all that land used to be farmland around there. Yeah, right. And now it's all developed. Mm-hmm. So if you take that to Vegas, like there's plans, it's penciled out that once like all of Henderson is filled up, they're going to do a development on the other side of the mountain on the way to Prim, on the left-hand side of the road. Sure. But who's really going to want to live there?
Correct. I mean, well, I think it's like this. It is a hassle. Definitely a hassle.
But then the thing is, when prices bump because the valley is full, then the invisible hand of economics is going to push people over there. Yeah. Because like a house in Inspirata that was like 500 would probably be like 400, 425. And then some people are going to have to go there because that's all they qualify for, or they can afford it.
So you think we're going to keep pushing out then? Obviously,
Not unlimited.
Not unlimited.
But like what I'm saying is with the new home development, like at some, it's going to fill out. So you've got new home construction in Henderson. In the west, you've got Mountain's Edge, which is a master plan community.
Right.
But also the other thing you're going to see is like as the master plan communities get completed in the valley,
sure,
then all the pockets of land in between are going to get, it's called infill.
Yeah.
And so the main new home areas, I mean, there's new home areas all over the valley where a builder has bought a piece of land and is like infilling between older neighborhoods. But like, you've got Mountain's Edge, which is in the west on the way to Pahrump. Obviously Summerlin. Everyone knows Summerlin.
Everybody knows Summerlin.
There's still a ton of land back there.
Yeah.
But again, it's bordered by Red Rock National Park. So once Summerlin gets to the edge of Red Rock National Park, that's it.
Yeah.
You're done. And so, there's new home pockets all over. In the north is more affordable because, it's a bit further of a drive.
You know what pocket listings are, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I look at pocket listings as like, well, they're like places where people really don't know about yet, and you're kind of getting a scoop.
Yeah.
Is there any place like a new home track right now, or new home builders that are starting to build, or just breaking ground somewhere where somebody may have the opportunity? There's not a lot. Okay, let me
that's
what I'm
about
looking
that.
at. Yeah.
So a pocket listing, like a technical description of a pocket listing, is a house that someone has in their pocket that's not on the market but is available.
Okay.
Right? So in terms of using that language for new homes, there's not really any pocket listings. I mean, there's a pocket listing if someone's building a new home and it falls out of contract, and it's going to fall out of contract, and the sales agent, or you have some juice with someone,
right,
and you hear about it just as it falls out of contract, then if you have those type of relationships, which we do, then you can slide someone else in, and then they're not all in the lottery system.
That's for new homes, though.
That's for new homes.
Pocket listings don't exist for existing homes?
Oh, pocket listings only exist for listing homes, and that is a pocket listing is a home that the seller wants to sell,
right?
But it's not on the open market.
I see.
And you need to know someone that knows about it to get it.
Okay,
that's a pocket listing. Now, in our office at Simply Vegas Real Estate, we've already sold $1 billion of real estate this year, which is crazy.
Wow, $1 billion
in halfway through the year.
Wow.
And so last year we helped 4,600 families.
Wow.
And we only have a small number of agents.
I see.
Because we do a lot.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing about there's many cool things about the company where I work.
Sure.
But with pocket listings, we have an internal Facebook where anyone that's got a listing coming up or knows of something, we share it. So we have a lot of off-market opportunity in our office. And as long as the seller...
But doesn't somebody need to explain, or doesn't they need to show that property?
Let me explain it. I was just about to say that.
Okay, perfect.
So in the event that you give the seller what they're asking and the seller's happy, then you may not have to put the house on the open market, because sometimes sellers, they don't want the hassle.
Yeah.
They don't want the bloodbath. They don't want all the people coming over to the house.
Yeah.
And if they have a magic number in their head, which is a good number, and then we can provide a buyer in-house, giving them what they want. And also, because it's in-house, we know that the agent on the other side is a good agent, and that we can kind of make sure it's cool.
Yeah.
Not saying that it's going to be cool, but we know that it's going to get done.
Yeah.
Then we don't have to put the house on the market. Now, it's not a company policy, because all we do is we just serve the client and get them what they want. And if the seller's okay with that and we don't put it on the market, then it is a pocket listing. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I think, is that happening frequently right now, where there's pocket listings, opportunities? Obviously, you guys have them.
Yeah, quite a bit. But here's the thing with pocket listings, right, is that when I represent a seller, even though it's a pocket listing, if you put it on the open market, it's so madly competitive and aggressive that even if you said, oh, I want $500,000 for my house, whatever, like if you were to put it on, and then we put it on the internal system, and what we get 500 here's your money,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
then a lot of sellers, it's prudent if you're able to put the home on the open market, because then you're opening it up to like a super normal like opportunity to make more.
Yeah.
But like the thing is you've got to ground your aspirations in reality, because a lot of sellers are, you know, sellers are doing well now, but I've seen instances of sellers gone wild where, you know, they're looking at the media, they're looking at YouTube videos, and they're like high on all the real estate ether. And, and they're high, and then they're smoking their own products, and so then when you put the house on the market, you're like, oh, you guys are tripping.
Yeah, definitely tripping, man.
So anyway, but
no, I love it.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway,
yeah, somewhere around those
None
lines.
of my clients are tripping. They're really happy.
So you look at a lot of these new homes, and people want to always. I mean, we have a lot of clients. What do you think the percentage of clients that we have as a team, and also for your business, that work and looking for new homes right away? Like that's just, they don't see anything on the existing side, even though we do think that you're going to come over this or talk about this here in a second. But the existing homes are starting to increase, but is it still enticing people to go new homes because it's just still not enough?
Well, a lot of it comes down to timing, right? There's a couple things that are key. Yeah. Right. When we get a new client, obviously we do a lot of new home property tours. Yeah. So that attracts people that, like, you know, they see the new home and they want the new home. But new homes take like 6 to 9 months at the moment to build. Sure. So if there's a timing issue, new homes don't work for some people. Why not? Well, a lot of our clients are planning retirement, and they have like an idea of like when they want to retire. And obviously, it's really important to speak to a lender when you're making a retirement plan, because your income goes down when you retire, and you may be able to afford a mortgage when you retired, but you may not qualify for the mortgage you want. You know. And then the other thing is, so if you need to move quick, a new home's not going to cut it right now. Yeah, if you got to resell, you got to do resale. The other thing. Yeah. Some people want a pool, and
good luck on that, right? That's far and few between, right?
You know what? It's doable, but you got to have a bit of extra cash floating around. Yeah. To like seal the deal with the seller, and there's different techniques you can use to like seal the deal. Sure. But you need a bit of extra cash with the pools, because people like pools. Now, I've had a pool, okay, and I don't have a pool now. I've lived here since 2003. Yeah. Pools are cool, but you only really use them like 3 months of the year. Yeah. And they're going to cost you about, on average, $200 a month, because something always breaks, right? Say like $125.
Did you use the pool though? There's a lot of people. I did. Like my parents have a pool, man. They're out every week.
Let me tell you how I use that pool to show off to my friends in England. I was like,
is there no pools in England? Like how do you?
So here's the thing. Is that in England, if you have a pool, you're like rich, right?
Really?
Yeah, you're like, it's unusual to have a swimming pool in England.
Really?
Super unusual. It's like you're made, but in America, you just need to have debt. So I had one pool in my first home, and that was before the crash. This was incidentally, this was before I got my real estate license. Right. So I really didn't know what was going on, and when I got ambushed by that whole affair, I was like, oh shit, I think there's an opportunity here, and
that's
so
funny.
then I got my license. But I like post on Facebook, hey, look at me, look at my pool. Matt's in America. He's made it. he's got a beautiful wife. He's got a house. He's got a pool.
Everybody's like, I'm moving to America,
Matt's
man.
Matt's doing good. But like the reality of the situation was, Matt's $500,000 in debt.
Right.
And that house, we picked it up for like, including the second mortgage for the pool. Yeah. Okay.
That's funny.
We're into it for like $540.
Yeah.
And then we ended up short selling it for like, I think it was like $276.
Really?
Yeah, but that was back in the apocalypse.
back when things were going sideways.
Yeah, that was
back in the crash, right?
Yeah,
2007.
that was very fascinating time.
Yeah,
that was very, but like, so back to like now, you know, new homes is not a quick path anymore. because there's such high demand. Builders have slowed down releasing property because they could all sell it in 3 seconds if they released it all.
Yeah.
But they couldn't build it all. And also by reducing the demand, like instead of saying they got 30 lots left, instead of selling like 10 lots and instead of selling them all in one go, which they could, right? If they piddle them out like 2 a week, then they can jack the price up 2 or 3 grand a week,
right.
And they're making more money, but also they can keep up with production.
And they're trying to make that money back because they're paying a lot they're paying premiums on some of this materials and stuff.
For instance, like some people lucked out because, buying a new home, you have a contract.
Yeah.
And like when lumber prices went up, some of the builders, especially smaller builders, like I heard this happen a lot in Utah.
Yeah.
Is they made promises in the contract to produce a home for a certain price, but then when all the commodities went up, like the lumber and like
all that stuff,
that stuff went up.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it, and they had to cancel all the contracts. So people got left out, and it was better that the builders did that because otherwise they would have. They couldn't have built a house and like made a profit.
Right.
And they would have been out of business anyway.
So where do people go though? Like I guess the thing is this: people always want to know where does my family go, or where do I go if I'm trying to buy a new home? Like, is there a place where we look and say, well, this is an upcoming area? Because a lot of times. We all know that when people buy new homes, they're buying a premium. There's always going to be shopping malls and stores, and there's going to be new roads, and it's all premium.
Yeah. So, what's the best answer to that question? So, when you buy a new home, you need to make sure it fits with your lifestyle, like, and you understand the amenities that are developing around there. Like one area of Valley that's like interesting to me is. When you go around the 215, it's called the curve. When you curve around the 215, how can I?
Yes, the Beltway.
The Beltway.
Yeah.
But when you're coming from the 15
and
you take a left and you curve around the 215 heading towards Summerlin, there's a lot of land there that's being filled in.
Yes.
And it's not a master plan community, but with the commercial developments that are happening there, there's a ton of good stuff going in there.
Yeah.
Like there's a Costco. Costco. Let's talk about Costco. Costco is a really successful company.
Yeah.
They have some serious brainiacs deciding where they're going to park their Costcos. If you're 10 minutes from a Costco, it's probably going to be good.
And most of them are right off the freeway too, or right
access,
easy access. Yeah. So I mean, they got that planned.
So Vegas is still blowing up. You drive around. There's a ton of construction. People are feeling bullish. There's a lot of new restaurants. There's a lot of new everything. And one thing about living in Vegas is that you're really spoiled.
Yeah.
There's so much choice that I've even heard some people say that it's overwhelming because there's so many different places you can eat. There's so many places you can shop.
Yeah.
Like you got the tourist stuff, you got the outlet malls, you got a lot.
Well, I think too, a lot of people, they get adapted to this or they're accustomed to this. It's kind of it's now it's part of the deal. You come here and it's you know what I mean? They don't know.
It's easy living.
They don't know the difference.
The only price you pay for the easy living is you gotta survive like June, July, August, and it has been. I gotta say, this week it's been exceptionally hot. It's been
exceptionally hot.
It's been over 110 every day at least. And one thing with real estate is that there are opportunities in this heat because. Some people just wither away and they don't go out and get the homes. Yeah. And, it can be, if you're willing to survive the gauntlet of the sun. It's a gauntlet. Dude, I leave my truck running all day and then, because I don't switch it off because it's not worth being boiled like a lobster when I leave the house. Yeah. I just leave it running and lock the truck.
How hot does it get in England?
Not hot at all. I spoke to my dad yesterday. He's miserable.
How hot is it over there right now?
My dad was like, he's old school. Yeah. He's in the Marines. He's like military.
Oh,
and he's like,
I see.
He's like, it's fucking miserable. He's like, it's raining. It's like summer got cancelled. And you know what? I just send him a selfie and I'm like, well, guess what, Dad? It's 110.
Right.
So, anyway.
Hey, so I'm going to look over here at Vera. He put up a comment. It said, there's one house that's been on the market for 3 months behind Coronado.
Yeah.
We offered below and was like, nah, and their listing is still on the market. They are high on something, right?
Yeah,
so they're probably smoking. That's the thing you're talking about. They're smoking.
The thing is, right?
Yeah.
Is that it's a free country.
Yeah.
It's a free market. But bad news is if you're the highest bidder on your own home because you're selling it too high.
Yes.
Then great for you, but you're not going to sell the house. So like, it's the invisible hand of economics. If a home's been on the market for 3 months, there's usually a problem. Now the problem
It's usually overpriced, though, right?
No, it can be some different things.
Okay.
Right? So there's a problem. Price. The seller's a dick.
Yeah.
Or like they're a bit crazy. Or they don't really want to sell the house.
Yeah.
Or the agent is a derelict.
Yeah.
Or it could be a combination of different
Well,
stuff.
do you think because of the market, though, that the seller and the selling agent is the reason why they're acting little,
maybe, but like
unrealistic?
people do what they do, and then like I took a listing, I took a listing. It's a funny story actually. It just goes to show how bullish it is. I had some clients. They purchased a home for 1.125 million in February.
Sure.
Gorgeous home. They thought they were going to be done.
Yeah.
And then they decided that they wanted to move back to California to be close to the ocean. And then I was like, well, I probably could get, you could probably break even. And then I listed the home for 1.2 million.
Wow.
And I sold it in like
real quick, huh?
6 days.
Wow.
And here's the thing is a good selling agent knows how to like work the scenarios.
Yeah.
So I did it like with absolute, politeness and matter of factness.
Yeah.
But I got my client, I had the buyer because it was a contingent offer and no one likes to accept contingent offers. Like if you're buying a house.
You mean like selling a house?
They need to sell a house to buy a house.
To buy a house,
yeah.
right.
So, I mean, if you're a buyer, being a contingency, it's not the end of the world, but it does make you a bit weaker. But I actually met the people that wanted to buy the house, and I liked them, and I liked the agent, and I kind of helped them to help me, to help my clients.
Yeah.
And so what happened was I said, look, we'll accept your contingent offer, but you're going to have no contingencies. So we have the sale contingency, but then I said, you're going to put, instead of putting 25 grand earnest money deposit, you're going to put 100 grand down. And then when you open escrow, you're going to release 25K to my seller up front in their pocket.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they're getting deals accepted these days,
because
right?
here's the thing. A good agent with good communication can make a deal happen. Like Verstar mentioned that, nothing was happening.
Yeah.
Well, that's a breakdown in communication. Like, because you can always make, everything's.
If somebody's willing to play ball on both sides, then you're going to get it done.
Yeah.
Basically.
So,
Right.
and then this is a really good technique for buyers to get properties, is that when you're in a bidding competition for a home, and there's multiple offers. Say the house is listed for like 400K, right? And there's multiple offers. Then, say the house is listed for like 400K. But I always tell my clients what I think it's going to appraise for, and I'm normally pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So say a house is listed for 400, and then it's probably going to appraise for like 390. Then I tell my buyers to offer like 400 or 410, and then to say in the contract that they're going to give the seller $10,000 at close of escrow for their closing costs.
Yeah.
So what that does is most agents don't do this. And so when they look at all the offers on the pile, this offer sticks out because you're like, they're going to give us 10K at the end extra.
Well, but let me say this. Why would you offer that? I mean, is there a benefit?
There's a reason why you'd offer that. Because if you give them 10K in cash at close of escrow, then you don't have to, that 10K doesn't have to be found by the appraiser.
I see.
So instead of offering a higher amount of money on the offer, you offer a lower offer, but you put cash in their hand.
So you're saying I'm playing ball, but I'm giving, maybe I'm coming in less. This is a little bit better.
Yeah, no, this is definitely better.
Right.
And my buyer's going to pay for your seller's closing costs because they're really nice.
That's different, Matt.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about that.
Do
one.
that.
Yeah.
But then there's a little cheeky twist to it.
What's the cheeky twist?
Cheeky twist
What's
is
the
what
twist?
gets deals done, right? Because once you're in contract, and if they're like ready to move out the house, you kind of got them because you got the seller because
they're down the road at that point,
they're already
right?
thinking I'm out of
They're
here.
checking
and
out.
They just want their money.
Yeah.
So then when the house doesn't appraise, and we know it's not going to appraise.
Yeah.
And I tell my buyers everything. Like, you're going to need a pad of money to get this done, and we're going to have fun with it, right? So then when it doesn't appraise, then you go back to, hopefully it does appraise, but if it doesn't appraise, we got to do some more communicating.
Yeah.
And so when it doesn't appraise, then I go back to the seller, and I'm like, you know, we've been really cool. We didn't ask for any repairs. And then I take the inspection report and I just show it in their face.
I mean, that's probably too, though, on a price point of, let's say, that $395 to $450.
Yeah.
Well, because I think a lot of people, there's more competition.
There's competition all over.
As you're getting higher, though.
Yeah, all over. There's competition all over. But then what you do, if the house doesn't appraise, then you say, well, unfortunately, the house didn't appraise. And that $10K that we were going to give your seller, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to make up the difference in the appraisal. And then they're like, so
you twist it.
It's twist.
Hey, is that the English twist?
I would say it's a bit. I would say it's a bit of English swerve.
Is that how SHIELD Team 6 does
Shield
it?
Team 6. We just get it. Land the plane.
They don't see you coming.
No, they don't see me coming. And so then the next thing is, then normally you can get away with it.
Yeah.
But like sometimes they get mega butthurt.
Yeah.
And then if they get butthurt, then they'll say, oh, well, you were going to give us, this just happened on the deal.
Yeah.
I said, look, we were going to give you 10K, but now we're making up 10K in the appraisal, so it's a wash. You're not going to get that extra 10K.
Correct.
And then they're like, well, give me 5K. And I'm like,
no.
No.
You already moved out. You already left.
And then what you do is when they ask you back, right? Then you say, I'll ask my client, and then you leave it a night.
Yeah.
So they sleep on it.
Yeah.
And then I say to my clients, don't worry, you're going to get the house. We're just spooking them. So they go to sleep.
It does work.
Yeah,
then,
it
right?
works. So then the seller goes to sleep, and they're a bit panicky. They're like, "Oh fuck, the deal's excuse me, language.
No, that's all right.
The deal's gonna fall apart," and they're like freaking out. And then the next day, if you leave it till like the afternoon, they might call back and say, "Oh, we just want to go ahead and do it. We're okay." And if they're not okay with it, then you give them a tiny bit of money, and you say, "Oh, look, here's $2,000."
Is a part of it too, is like you look at the buyer side versus the seller side. The seller's representing selling agent. They're representing the seller of the home.
Yeah,
But I just want to say that when you're a buyer's agent, a lot of times it's all about leverage, right?
Yeah.
How much leverage do you have into the deal?
But you create the leverage.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, and every situation's different. Like if I'm pretty, my ex mother-in-law, she said to me that I had a trusty face and a trusty voice, but I'm a devil, which is fairly true. But
Yeah.
I'm not actually.
I don't think
I'm a devil.
I wouldn't
I'm just
say
like,
devil, man.
I would say cheeky
You're cheeky.
to get it done.
That's
and
right.
So here's the thing: is it's a game. You have to be properly equipped to play the game.
Yeah.
And you should hopefully enjoy the game as long as you're educated correctly. And you know what the board is, and you know what the pieces are.
Well, it can be stressful, Matt. I mean, you got to really.
No, it is stressful.
You got to let people know, man.
Oh, I do.
You know, this is the biggest
Yeah.
investment a lot of people make in their
It
lifetime.
can be stressful, but if approached appropriately, it can be enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
But it is challenging now, and it's not fun. But the fun begins when you get that contract. And like the biggest challenge, like the biggest way I can prove my worth at the moment,
Yeah.
aside from when we have the contract, I'll always find a way to create some value.
So how do you deal with it? And I'm sorry to cut with that, but the builder side of it, because if you're looking at it from the existing side of it, that's somebody who's like, well, I'm dealing with an agent.
Builder's different now. So
Okay.
like my greatest value to a prospective buyer is to get them a contract with a builder.
Sure.
Like, and unfortunately, my like 97 shades of British BS don't work for builders anymore, right? Because
Builders don't care, man.
because they don't care.
They got
And
all the control.
Why don't they care? Because they got all the lots.
Yeah.
They got they can do whatever they like.
Yeah.
They can adjust lot premiums. They can do this, do that, and all you can say is yes. like, or no, but if you say no, you're not going to get it.
You're out.
So it's kind of hard. It's not fun. Like, it's not fun. Like, it's like the fun is if I get a contract. Like, I think I mentioned this before, but I had this absurd situation last year. The last lot with American West Homes, like half.
They're a good builder, right?
They are a good builder.
They are a good builder. I talk to a couple of people over there all the
good
time.
Homes. We sell a lot of those homes.
Yeah.
But we had this. There was this one community that was like 30 lots.
Yeah.
And no, like, I'm sorry, 57 lots.
Okay.
And there was only a handful left, and we had we call it a reservation,
Right.
but it wasn't a reservation. And I said to them, I said, this isn't a reservation. You're taking some money for us to be in a multiple bid situation later. This is not a reservation. A reservation to me in the good old days was you reserve this lot. That's your lot.
Yeah.
But now it's like you got a reservation and then you got a chance to get the lot.
Do they say show me the money? Is that basically what it is?
That's exactly what
it
they
is,
did.
right?
But not quite.
Is that premium though waste?
No,
right? Is it,
that
I think
premium
yeah.
is a fictitious sticker like what you get at a car lot. So what happens is,
It's like a car lot.
no, but you have to be careful because people walk into the new home lots without an agent.
Yeah.
And you are it's like walking into court without an attorney.
Yes.
Like, and then there's many different ways they try and gouge you. But here's the thing: that particular situation, there was like 6 or 7 people that had also made a reservation,
Right.
And then we had a gun show, and the gun show was who's going to pull out the most cash. But they didn't have to pull out cash. What they said, they're very tricky with the verbiage and wording.
Yeah.
They said, well, we're going to have to whoever offers the most lot premium for this lot is going to get it. But here's the thing with the lot premium. Lot premium is the wrong word because all the lots were exactly the same. There wasn't like a mountain view.
Yeah.
You weren't looking at Lake Las Vegas. You didn't have a strip view. That could like justify you saying that there's a premium. No, what the premium was in this instance was who's going to give us the most money.
That's it.
And so
It always comes down to that, right?
So we went into the office.
Yeah.
And it was kind of awkward. I mean, it wasn't awkward, but my client was sat here and we were sat with the other agent. And then we're like, so what do you want to offer the lot premium? And I'm like, you know what? I haven't been in this situation before. What information can you give us? And he's like, I can't give you any information.
So does it like attorneys, and we're bringing up attorneys, where builders start to make that the custom thing to do where you come in, you want to pay a premium for the lot, you got to get the reservations. I mean, you talked about American West Homes, but is it, Blue Heron? Is it all of them?
No, it's not Blue Heron's a custom home, but it's for mainly for the track homes.
The track homes.
The track homes.
I see.
Like the publicly traded companies.
Like
KB Homes.
Right.
Tyler Morrison used to be Pardee Homes.
Yeah.
Like those.
Pulte,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
So then in this particular instance, there's this lottery, and then they said, whoever, give me your highest bid on the lot. And so my client said that he would pay $54,000 over over what they were asking.
Just to get, I bet they looked at him like, yes, we struck it.
He won.
Well,
but how much did he win by? I was told, I always become friends with everyone I do business with.
$1,500.
No, he won by like $3,000.
Oh my God.
Now here's the thing. Here's the kicker, right?
Oh my gosh,
is
man.
that all that gets wrapped into the mortgage.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's always mysterious how usually new homes mysteriously appraise.
Yeah.
Right, but we won't get into that. So then here's the thing though, right? Is that home he got the house? This was in October.
Yeah.
Massive lumber delays.
Yeah.
Like framing. So they're like 4 months behind in construction.
Wow.
But guess what that means for my happy client? He gets 4 months appreciation on the house.
Absolutely.
And he's not paying his mortgage.
There you go.
And he'll once he's going to be all into that house for like probably like 970,000.
Yeah.
So it's a half-acre lot, 4,500 square foot, 3-story home.
Yes.
With a massive RV structure.
Yeah.
And on half an acre. And so near the curve in the southwest, right? It's called Rainbow Crossing. And that home, when it's completed, without adding like the pool and the spa and doing any landscaping, and the half-acre landscaping, that's a lot of landscaping.
No, that is a lot of land.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
But like when he closes on that house, he should be able to sell that house for like 1.2 million.
Yeah, the appreciation.
Because there's no homes like it.
Yeah.
Because it's some things make a property pop. That one, half-acre, massive RV structure.
If you guys are just tuning in, this is the French Workbench podcast. Please hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We're talking right now about new home builds and our hot spots for new home builds. We're also stay tuned because we're going to talk about where families would maybe want to go and maybe start a family in Vegas, right? I mean, where places they might want to end up, right?
I want to say one more thing about the new home stuff. Is that even though, so most builders are publicly traded companies, and their primary responsibility is shareholder profit. Okay, so they want to make as much money as they can throughout the transaction.
Yeah.
It used to be that there was incentives to use the builder's lender.
Yes.
And they own the lending company, right? The builder owns the lending company.
They own the lending company, the title company. Now they got a home insurance company. I mean, they're like trying to make it where they just have no options for the buyers out there.
So one thing for gouging, right, the builders do,
and
I've experienced this frequently, more often than not, is that they jack their clients on the rate. Like they jack them, they overcharge them on the rate, on the mortgage.
Oh, yeah.
And then the way they get you is if you don't have representation, you don't know that you're getting jacked. And when you get jacked on a mortgage, like most people only live in a home for like 10 years. Tops.
Yeah, and that's increased, right?
I'm sure because mobility is harder now, much harder.
Yeah.
So they might say to you, back in the day, they would give you a rock solid incentive to use the builder's lender.
Mm-hmm.
Like they may say to you, oh, we're going to give you like 10 grand in closing costs. Or like I've had higher.
I've had it where they gave them 13 or 15.
Yeah, higher.
You know?
Or they say, we'll give you a 20K credit to your upgrades.
Yeah.
But it's all a fucking fugazi. Like
it
with
is.
that stuff.
I mean,
because some upgrades
exactly.
are more expensive than others.
Right.
So, but the thing is now builders don't have to do much to give much away.
Sure.
So you got to be really cautious, like with the builder's lender, because there's not as much incentive to use them. And if they jack you on the rate, you know, paying like an extra like half point or quarter point or whatever it is, or, you know, whatever you end up charging, you can way overpay on the mortgage for the house.
Right.
You know?
Right. And I think too, it's like crazy because you look at a lot of these builders and like you said, they're offering these incentives, but they're decreasing a lot. And they're not offering they might give a transfers tax, or they might pay for something small. But now the separation, because builders know that they're not trying to give anything, not just to agents too. It's not just lenders.
But let's talk about that, right? Is that builders are doing it, and then in the future, real estate's always cyclical. It has been, like, you know, there's ups and downs, but Vegas is different because with the amount of migration here from out of state, and with the limited amount of space, like, and also there's a lot of hedge funds here and big investment funds that have been buying up homes to have as rentals. So, you know, if you love your home and you love the area and it makes sense to you and it's affordable and you need shelter, and it's nice, then it makes sense to do it, you know?
No, it makes sense to do it. As far as new homes though, right? Is it a wise investment in this market? I mean, I'm just curious. Like, if somebody goes and buys a new home, I mean, let's just talk about it. Are they overpaying for the house traditionally, significantly now because these builders, you know, when they're looking at the premiums, they're looking at the lots.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, when you look at it like that, there's different ways you can look at it. But you got to, if you look at it purely from like a historical price basis on the house, then, you know, it looks different than if you look at it like the country has changed. It changes all the time, but now it's changed where we've got like a couple $1 trillion of money has been printed. When I fill up my truck for gas, I used to fill up my truck for like $60. Now I'm pushing $100 to fill my truck up.
No, it's true.
It's like legit.
Yeah.
So then you got to look at it like, okay, So I'm getting an interest rate on my mortgage that's like 3%.
Yeah, it's a lot less. I mean, look,
What is it? What is it?
I'm in the high 2s now.
Okay,
Yeah,
right, because
yeah.
it's been changing. And
It's
it
been
went
changing.
down.
It went down just a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so you look at it in that context, and you're looking in like locking in this cheap money for 30 years. Then look at it in the context of, well, are we going to be looking at like 6 to 8% inflation?
Right.
And if we're getting 6 to 8% inflation, then that 3% is looking pretty freaking cheap right now.
Well, look, at the end of the
Right?
day, at the end of the day, builders, they're in it to make money just like
Yeah.
everybody else. You know, let's bottom line. A lot of people don't think it's a good time to buy a home. You know, and that's fine. It doesn't
It's
mean
a
you
free
got to
country.
Right.
Can I say?
Right.
Can I say that
Yeah.
all the people that thought that are now short like quite a bit of money. Like I went to a client's home last night for a barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Once you do business with me, you're stuck with me.
You do barbecues with them now?
I do anything.
Yeah.
I do whatever. Shield Team 6 does whatever it takes to get it done. No,
You
I'm
just
joking.
go
We'll just go. No,
Yeah.
no, they become. Most of my clients become friends, and then
You're a likable guy, man. I think
Yeah.
in real estate, you have to be likable. Like people want to, because look, at the end of the day, just on the other side too, like I think what makes you part of being successful is you have history.
Yeah.
I feel like you're passionate about your craft, but I think
Yeah.
you have to be likable and you got to know what you're doing. But you know, meeting people at barbecues, that's what I want to do, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I want.
No,
so
it was cool. It was
is
really cool. And so
Yeah.
their home, they bought their home for $725 last year. Now it's worth $850,
Yeah.
and they're loving it.
Yeah.
But like they almost didn't buy. They're
Yeah.
like, all right, it's going up. I'm like, dude, buy.
Yeah.
Like, so here's the thing: is with real estate, as long as it's affordable, right, and it fits in with your life plan, like you can only start by starting, and you know, like the rental market's horrible right now.
Terrible.
Horrible. Like
I can't find any. Everybody's calling me going, "Hey, do you know somebody to rent?" I can't
it's
find
horrible.
anything.
It's horrible. It's so awful, and so it's better. And then I got a lot of people that like their landlords are like cashing out.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
Do they have to notify? They have to notify.
They
if there's-
do. The
Yeah.
lease is enforceable till the end.
Yeah.
But like, it's still a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
And smart landlords, when they're thinking about selling, and someone's got a nice home and they've been there for a year, right? Because most contracts.
That brings up a good point.
What the landlords do, is they go, you can stay here, but I'm not giving you another 1-year lease. It's month to month.
Yeah.
Now that sucks if you're a tenant, because the landlord could ask you to move, and you need to find somewhere new to live in 30 days.
Yeah,
and
and
that's stressful.
You're out of
in
state.
this market.
If
Yeah.
you're out of state, let's say you want to come here and you do want to rent to get started, just to see if you like Vegas. Now, there's some people that move here
Yeah.
because they got a job offer, but what if you don't know if you want to stay here? Now it's like this: you're either it forces your hand to say, do I buy an existing home where there's not a lot of offers out there, or there's not a lot of opportunity, or do I go new home? And I think
Yeah,
that's
so-
the problem too, right?
So when people aren't sure, like there's two types. I'm making super huge generalizations, so I don't mean to like.
Well, it's not
but, like, I'm just-
everybody,
I'm
but
giving
it's
I'm giving
the
you my
norm,
experience.
right? It's
Let me tell you
go
what
ahead.
my experience is.
Yeah.
There's, I think, 3 reasons why people move here, right? 1 is job transfer,
Sure.
right? 2 is retirement,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 is starting from scratch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you have a job transfer or retirement, you're in a position to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
If you're starting from scratch, you can't buy a house anyway, right? So, or like family. There's like family, retirement, or job transfer, right? Now,
Yeah.
the job transfer people also as well, some people get transferred to work here. What's happening now is some people, because of technology changes and like a different approach to business because of the COVID, like in the past 12 months, I had one like high up guy from Disney
Yeah.
move here, and Disney headquarters is in California, but he can move here now because he can work from home.
Well, it's taxes too, right? So you're saving money.
Especially taxes.
Especially taxes.
So I had
right?
tech people move in. Now, like I have this tech people, the affordability's here. But what I'm saying to you is that if you're moving here and you're not starting from scratch, you probably should buy.
Yeah.
You probably should buy. But I don't force people to buy. when I say I don't force people to do anything, but what I'm saying is you're going to get a much nicer home. You're going to be on the ladder, and you know, it's just better.
You know what? I talked to you a little bit, and I see in your persona, I guess you want to call it, where you're very passionate about real estate, and I am too. Like, I think that's the reason why we do this show, because we're passionate about trying to help people. We're trying to be, somebody out there that they can lean on if they need the right education. But you're passionate, and it seemed like you really like what you do as far as a real estate agent.
I mean, the thing is I enjoy helping people.
Right.
And, I consider myself a little bit of a pirate when I'm doing the real estate. But I'm like a good pirate. And if you're on my ship, like, you're not going to get the cutlass.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have to walk the plank unless you go crazy on me. And then I'll send you someone else. And if you go crazy on me, it's not because I've done anything wrong. It's because you're crazy.
So you know right off the bat if they're going to be cheeky with you, right?
No, I'm like...
Is that what the word is?
No,
are they going to be cheeky?
No, I've done all kinds of things. And then I'm like highly intuitive. And you know what I really enjoy is I do enjoy helping people.
Yeah.
Right? I like the game.
Yeah.
Like when we get into the nuances of like when I'm representing someone.
Yeah.
Of like getting the other people.
Yeah, right.
And it can be a small thing.
Yeah.
We can have small victories. Like I might be able to scrounge them $500 out of the transaction. I'm like, that's okay. You know? But if I can get them more, great. But if we can run circles around the other side, it's kind of like, it's like playing a game of rugby.
Yeah.
Run some moves.
Who's gonna bite at this one, right?
Yeah,
who's gonna
exactly.
take this one?
So that part's fun.
You might get a little bit further, right? On certain deals.
But also, what I enjoy about what I do is that it gives me like a tremendous amount of flexibility.
Sure.
Because obviously, when you're out in the field and you're showing homes and helping people, that's one thing. But like I enjoy it because like I get a lot of referrals and I do genuinely help people. And they're grateful, and I do some magic, and a lot of it's just because I sound funny.
Yeah.
And I'm.
I think I talked about it before. The English
helps.
Well, it helps, and it's like one of the more universal languages out there where people really can kind of understand it. It's not really. It's a very. I think it's just how it's pronounced, right? A lot of the words.
There's so many aspects to this job, and you can be really successful and be good at like one or two things.
Right.
But like, what stuns me is, I meet people all the time that say they're getting their license or they're going to do this and that. Only a small fraction of them actually do anything.
Right.
Because it's really hard. And people watch like reality shows and think, oh yeah, I'm going to do this.
They're just going to slam people in houses, right? It doesn't happen like that.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I was going to tell you too. So let's go back to the new home process. So you're looking at new homes, you're looking at incentives, you're looking at a lot of the things that's being offered. Where do you think? And I don't know, but you kind of threw out some hot spots.
Yeah.
But where do you think, like, let's say in the next year or so, do you have any information about where maybe America West Homes or Pulte or any of those places?
No.
Are they going to continue to build out like towards the Southwest? I mean,
they're going to build all over. But the thing is with these builders, right? The builders, they need land.
Yeah.
And so the builders compete with each other to secure parcels of land. And then the builders, they all have their little signature of like what makes them different.
Yeah,
right?
but how they get that land is kind of crazy. Where it's almost like a bidding war, right?
It is. So when the Bureau of Land Management release parcels, then there's like an auction.
Auction.
There's an auction, and that's how the government raises revenue and like plans out the development of the city.
Sure.
But
did you hear anything about kind of talking about land? Not trying to jump around, but I heard that they may be moving the Nellis Air Force Base and putting more roads and stuff out that direction. Did you hear anything about that?
My understanding is that, here's the thing. Militarily, Vegas is very important. We've got Nellis Air Force Base.
Yeah.
We've got Creech, which runs all the drones in the world.
Wow, do they really, huh?
All the US drones in the world.
Really?
We got, I had a client that works up there, and they got like, first of all, you had the Predator drone.
Uh-huh.
Now you got the Reaper.
Yeah.
And there's another one.
I love the names,
There's
right?
another one.
Predator, Reaper.
There's another one that like is like you can't talk about, but it's really good.
The next one's going to be the Terminator, right?
I don't know. Yeah. So you've got that. So with Nellis, it's strategic. It's very strategically important.
Yeah.
And so the military own a bunch of land over there.
Yeah.
And you can get out the back of the base. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're doing that.
Yeah.
But also they keep, I'm sure they keep some missiles there as well. Like maybe.
Well, you look at that area. Yeah.
I bet you there's a nuke over there.
I don't know about a nuke.
Well, they got to keep
you
them
think
somewhere.
They keep a nuke?
Well, what if they need to? What if they need to?
I don't know about a nuke, man. I need a little
Nuke 'em!
Crazy.
I'm just joking.
No, it's all good.
I don't know if there's a nuke there or not.
No, but it's all right. But so look, let me say this: when you take out like places like Nellis Air Force Base,
Yeah.
right, and let's say you want to build in that area, we all know that area is not bad, but it definitely has some issues in some pockets,
so,
right?
like,
but if they take that out, who's to say that they just won't? And when I say they, the city or the state, I think the city more obviously, Las Vegas, is going to move these things and then increase and put money into it, which will increase the values in those homes, right? Over time.
Nothing's happening with Nellis Air Force Base, but like what I would say is that there's land all around the north, but like when you're up in the north, like it's further away to like drive into town, and it's a desert out there.
Yeah. No, it is a desert.
It's a desert out there, and it's very flat. And so, like, Summerlin has pulled people in. Well, okay, I read an article when they first started building Summerlin, there was nothing out there. They couldn't sell houses to sell their life.
Yeah.
But like these things grow over time incrementally.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
So if you guys are just tuning in, like I said, this is the French Workbench podcast. Please hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Also subscribe, support the channel. We're trying to build and we're trying to grow. Our goal is to try to get to 1,000 subscribers within the end of the month.
Yeah.
That's a tall task. But we're gonna, Matt, you think we're going to do it, man?
I don't know, man.
I think we're going to do it.
I should come in my Speedos and we can try and like...
Dude, if you come in with your Speedos, then we definitely will hit 1,000.
Dude, if I come in my Speedos, I want to get paid.
Right.
One of you people need to let me help you buy a home.
You're right.
I'll put the Speedos on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, by the way, it's not the banana hammock. They're like Speedo shorts that I swim in.
Yeah.
It's not, I wouldn't do that. Like, just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know there was a difference, was there?
Oh, yeah. Like, if you're a swimmer, but you're like a dude,
yeah,
you're not going to wear the banana hammock. You're going to wear the Speedo shorts because that still keeps a little bit of modesty.
Yeah.
More like James Bond than freaking Mr. Bean,
Yeah. Well, look at Matt. We got 10 people watching right now, so that tells us we're knocking it out of the park.
We've got a 40% success rate. Woohoo!
We're killing it, man.
Yeah.
No, we get a lot of people watch after the show.
I know, exactly.
But I want to go back. Let's segue to another topic here because I had people actually reach out to me and talk to me about best places in Las Vegas for families and where they should move and some of the challenges that they go through moving here, right? Because we all know, what are the first things that people look at? Crime, schooling, is that location safe? They always talk about how good is Henderson versus Summerlin. We all know downtown Summerlin and Summerlin's nice as can be, right? But do they have the same track history as far as crime and
so
things like that?
Just to clarify, like crime is everywhere, okay? Like, there's guard-gated neighborhoods that suffer like break-ins.
Yeah.
Las Vegas Country Club, which is downtown, kind of old school rack pack area.
Yeah.
Get break-ins all the time. It happens, right?
Yeah.
So with regard to statistics, you need to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, have a look on the police websites.
Well, a lot of people always ask me that question. They go, so how safe is Henderson versus... And Henderson's one of the safest places to live, right?
Yeah, it is. But like the Henderson Police Department, they run it pretty tight.
Yeah.
You don't want to... They're pretty serious.
They throw the book at you, right?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
They do. They're pretty hardcore.
Don't come to Henderson.
They're not as hardcore as Boulder City.
Oh, Boulder City.
Boulder City... Okay, let me tell you about Boulder City. I like Boulder City, right?
You have a story about it?
Well, Boulder City, if you drive past their police headquarters, it's a small town. They look like a freaking army.
Yeah.
They're making so much money, and they just love to like write tickets.
Yeah.
And so, but what I would say is, if you're concerned, a good rule of thumb is, try not to be right next to apartment complexes because
Why is that?
they're pedophile central.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
like if you go on the pedophile website and you're near an apartment complex, there's a bunch in the apartment complex.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to disclose that, right? As a realtor, you're not supposed to say, "Hey, this person's a pedophile," right?
I would never say that. But what I can say is that if you're concerned about that, if they bring it up, right, then go look at like the crime statistics, and registered pedophiles have to like register where they live.
Yeah.
And usually
you just direct them to the app, right, or somewhere
just
like,
say,
"Hey,
Google
check
it,
that out," because yeah, I get it.
Here's the
I get
thing.
it.
Here's the thing, right? Is when is there a problem? Rarely. And guess what? Most sex abuse is done by relatives.
Is it really?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that. Huh.
For sure.
Really?
For sure. Or someone that knows you. So
I got you.
Safety starts in the home, and then obviously, like the more you get what you pay for. So the better you can pay, then the better it is. And then here's the thing, you can't be paranoid about this stuff. You could get like run over like today, but it's good to feel comfortable. And another thing is, it's good to know your neighbors. Like if you're thinking about buying somewhere, I always do this, and I think you can gather from my communication style is that I'm not shy. And so what
you're not shy. No,
shy.
You're very cheeky today.
Yeah. So what I do in the 10-day diligence period, right?
Yeah.
In the 10-day diligence period, I always go knock on the neighbor's door.
Yeah.
Hello, how's your mum?
I love it.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
No. And so you're concerned about crime, but there's a one-man crime wave working in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
No, I'm joking.
No, there is, man.
So,
do you put your robe on at the end, like when you're done with you get it? You're like walking the neighborhood.
No, I'm joking around, but what I'm saying is, go talk to the neighbors. Go talk to neighbors. You would be stunned at what neighbors will say to you, and sometimes it's really positive. Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, we're not going to buy this house. Let's cancel this contract.
Yeah.
So it's good to be aware, have some situational awareness, and like, so there's statistics you can look at. The other thing is, listen to your intuition. I suggest to my clients that if they're here, go there a few different times of the day and week. Like the 10-day diligence period, it's not just to do the inspection. You can back out.
Yeah,
of
you
that
can
house
take a look and see what the neighbors are
reason.
doing and all that stuff, right? On the areas. You're saying go look at the area
just go look around, get a feel for it
before you commit.
Just
right?
imagine, try and imagine if you would like to live there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no one forces you to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the other thing. If something looks really good, not to say that something might change in the future, you might have like the, the Addams family move next door.
Yeah. Right.
You don't know.
You never know.
You don't know. One thing that can help a lot is if there is a HOA, a homeowners association, then there's management of the community. So if anything gets like repetitively outlandish, then that can be dealt with the HOA.
Yeah.
But I mean.
So like look at the families that come here though, they have challenges, and the challenges are always like, well, we're going to lean on you as a realtor or as a lender and say where are the best places to live, or where's now it's a blend. It's the cost, location, schooling for the kids if you got kids. I don't think people are looking so much as far as the commute. One, people are working from home, they're buying bigger homes.
It doesn't matter in Vegas. There's barely any traffic.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you're coming from California, you might get hit up with a couple hours of travel each day, but here it's like half hour tops.
Yeah.
With the families, schooling's important.
Is North Las Vegas popular for that? Like, we all know you go on the outskirts, and a lot of new homes are being built in North Las Vegas. You got Southwest, you got Inspirada, and we're just kind of hitting all around.
Yeah.
Is that really where families typically start, or is it right now because Vegas is a good place to live? They're just like, send me, take me wherever I can go.
There's this thing in real estate called steering. And it's illegal, right? So I have to be very careful about the language I use. Got you. This is being broadcast on the World Wide Web. And I never steer anyone ever.
No.
But I know how to pirate a captain.
Only to your house. No, just
So then what I'm saying is, is that what I'm saying is that like for family, for people that have children, right? Yeah. Good to look at the schools in the area.
Yeah.
Look at the ratings of the schools. A lot of the time, there's these things now more in Vegas called charter schools, which are public schools, but like they're harder to get into. But like once you're into them, it's like a little bit better. But it's still a public school. Look at the education, and just look at reviews online of the schools and stuff.
What other challenges do you see? Families call you as a realtor, and they're saying, those are kind of the upfront questions.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you go through like on a daily basis with some of these clients that you talk to, that maybe life experiences that you've had or real estate experience?
I mean, really, it's pretty simple. I mean, you need a certain number of bedrooms, right?
Okay.
But like, there's not really any drama.
No.
There's no drama. You need a home. Your home is your castle, right?
Yeah.
Run your home. Probably the biggest risk to families moving to Vegas is divorce.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks, but like, just hold it together.
Do you have a situation where you have people that are moving here and they're trying to get away from a situation and that's why they're moving here? Not really.
Not really. No, not really. Life is life. Life happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it happens. I just think that there's families that come here. I think a lot of times there's challenges for people that come here that says, well, I don't want to live in this location because the crime rate's too high, or you're not going to get as much home on this location.
Well,
or
here's the thing.
Like
when people are moving here, families are moving here. A lot of people move here so they could buy a house.
Yeah, because they can't buy one.
About half my clients in California, I mean, some have a lot of money, but a lot of them, this is their first home.
But a lot of money in California is a lot of money here. It's not a lot of money in California.
No, exactly.
Yeah, it's it's a different life. It's a different world living in California.
I mean, if anyone's got any specific questions, I can address them, but I don't think it's a major factor, but I mean, here's the thing. I'm just a conduit of information and like a shepherd to protect you from making a mistake, from not knowing what you don't know. And so if my clients have questions, if I don't know the answer, I'll find it out. Yeah,
we're in real estate and financing. I think we're very passionate about what we do. Like you said, it's the content that we put out helps people make better decisions, regardless if they use us or not. And we like to help people. And I think that's the passion, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of problem solving, which is cool. It's, like Forrest Gump says, it's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what it is. You don't know what you're dealing with until you open the box of chocolates and figure out what the problem is.
What's the craziest story that you've dealt with in real estate where you were like, man, we started this way and it ended this way, and you're like, how did this happen? Especially for like families or somebody that maybe even not like with kids, maybe just somebody moving from another area.
There's not really, there's no real crazy stories on like people buying homes. Like, life happens, life is life. And then, there's all kinds of things that happen, like death, divorce, windfalls, downfalls.
In this market, what is the largest amount of people? I wouldn't say people. What is the number of amount of offers you put in for one specific, let's say, party of people or family? Like,
I got up to 5 offers is my most at the moment.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, I'm good.
There's a lot of people that are like, man, I've been sitting with these people for 30, 60 days.
I'm like
putting in multiple offers, and these things are just not. It's not popping.
Well, I mean, I set everything up so like, it's like Shield Team 6 has like a 50 cal, and we're sat in the, I'm just like, we're like waiting.
You're ready to
like,
pounce.
5 shots is a lot. That's a lot with 50 cal.
Yeah, that is, man. That is.
So, I mean, I try and be strategic. It's tough. Like, I mean, the worst thing at the moment, which is really quite sad, is that for anyone that doesn't have any spare cash, right? You need a bit of spare cash to get a deal done now. And when I say spare cash, like if you're FHA and you're putting 3.5% down, you need like an extra 15, 20 grand to get the deal done, because you need that cushion to bribe the seller, make your offer stand out, but word it. Like, if you're just scraping in with just enough money, it's tough times right now. And if you're just scraping in with just enough money, a new home in 6 or 7 months is perfect.
It's perfect
if you can win the lottery, and there's not multiple bids on the premiums.
Yeah.
So it's kind of. So the biggest thing I say to my buyers right now is, please don't take this personally. I know it's personal. It is your life. You've worked hard to get into the position to buy a home.
Yeah.
But it's super competitive now, and I hope that we've got the eviction moratorium allegedly finishing at the end of this month. Like, here's the other thing is that we got more homes right now. I mean, a couple months ago we had like a couple thousand homes on the market. Now there's like, I think there's like 3,900.
Yeah.
So it's creeping up.
Yeah.
But don't take it personally. Hang tough. Keep going. Like, it will be worth it. But it's just, you know, it's harder now. Unless you have cash, it's harder.
Yeah, it's definitely
But
harder.
It's doable.
Yeah.
But like, you know, last year when I'd have a new client, I mean, I could get it done in like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, I was graced with like sorting something out in 48 hours this week, which is like, I was like, yeah, that's good. Right? But you just got to go for it. That's all you can do.
So we're going to wrap this up here in a second. Now, you're going to see Garth Brooks, man. Are you mentally ready for Garth Brooks? What do you got to do to get mentally ready for Garth Brooks? Because you said you never went. So what are your thoughts?
So what are my thoughts? Mentally ready. Well, I don't know, I'm just going to have fun. We're going out to like,
Do you pre-drink?
I stopped drinking. I don't drink.
Oh, that's right. You don't
I
drink
stopped
anymore.
drinking. I don't drink.
Yeah.
I am sober, Matt.
That's good, though.
No, it's great.
You know,
so,
man, look, if you can't control things, sometimes
well,
it's
here's
hard.
the thing. I'm half Scottish, and
Yeah.
so, you know, I just, you know, I mean, I just decided I've drunk a lot in my life,
Yeah.
and I was an athlete and a sportsman, and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So yeah, I knocked it on the head, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, good.
So we're going out. It'll just be a good time. Like you know what I should do is, I'm sure I recognize some of his songs, but I'm gonna get on YouTube.
But you got to get the boots, man. The boots
Dude,
and the
the
hat.
boots
You don't.
are
You got to.
expensive.
That's okay. Just get them and take them back.
Oh, I can do that, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. I'm taking a date. I have a date.
Yeah.
So she's got a cowgirl hat. And
Yeah.
She's got a little cowgirl romper.
Oh man, don't you love it when you got these cowgirls walking around with those rompers?
Yeah. But you know what? I've been seeing her for a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, I never like to post stuff on social media.
Yeah.
And females get butthurt about that because they're like, I don't really exist and all this stuff.
Oh, like because you're not posting about her?
No, never.
Yeah, I don't really do that.
But here's
either.
the thing. I don't think that's appropriate, because when you see people post stuff on social media like, oh, look at me with this girl, or look at this, we're so happy, that means that they're not happy. Because like, if you post all that stuff, you see people that get like too like, oh,
Yeah.
look at us, and you're like, oh yeah, that's fake.
Well, don't you think too sometimes, like, I'll say this. Do you think that, especially in your profession, sex sells, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
So like.
Oh no, not sex sells, but the idea of potential sex.
Exactly. Right? Right? So when you look at that, though, and you're saying, well, if somebody's looking at me and I'm taken, there might be some people out there that are like, well, you're an attractive person, but I'm looking for somebody that is, you know, single, or maybe they're not tied up like that.
About it.
No.
People are just deviant. It's like
just
the crime
deviant.
statistics.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter. But one thing is, I reckon I'm gonna take some pictures and video tonight.
Yeah.
But
You gonna ride the electronical bull?
I'm gonna try and ride.
See.
I'm gonna try and ride the metaphorical bill. But also, I think there's gonna be some good-looking cowgirls there.
Oh man, have you ever been to those country places?
You know, I have
There
never
is.
been to a hoedown. Hoedown! Quick, help!
Hey, you gotta let me know how that hoedown
I will
happens
do.
tonight, man.
I will
I
do.
gotta get the details. That's gonna
Do
be
you
the
know
next
what?
Saturday show.
You know what? I'm gonna take notes.
You're gonna take notes. One of the things I want to say, this last thing is how does somebody get a hold of you for real estate needs?
Oh yeah, so you can just call me up.
Yeah.
My cell phone is 702-336-4635.
Yeah.
And I'm always available to give some advice or insight into if someone's got a problem or a dream or an idea, or they need to sell something, or they want to buy something, or this is what I do.
Well, here's the deal, man, and I'll
I've been
just tell
doing
you.
it full time for 11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
I think people gravitate to. There's a few things, right? You got to be likable.
Yeah.
I think you got to give the content, but then you also can't be persuasive in what your agenda is.
I'm never
like you gotta,
salesy.
yeah, you can't be over. Hey, buy this, and you got to give them the facts. Sometimes people just aren't ready to buy, man.
Yeah,
That's
and
it is what it is.
Well, the truth of the situation is 95% of the time, people aren't ready to buy right now. And then what rubs people the wrong way is unsophisticated real estate salespeople are trying to preach the 95% that aren't ready right now.
Yeah.
And they don't give them any value. And then it's great when you find someone that's ready to buy a house right away. Great. But like that house, the barbecue I went to yesterday, I was speaking to them for a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I spoke to this lady for a year, and then she finally, they were going to move here, and then she called me up, and then I interviewed for the job and got it. But like, here's the thing, is that when I get paid well for doing a good job, but the amount of work it takes to find that job and do a good job is a lot.
It is a lot.
Like, and you know, sometimes, like, I just had a really good week. This week, I sold like $1.5 million of real estate this week.
Wow, good for you, man.
It's a good one, dude.
Yeah,
but I don't do that every week.
No, I mean, look, let's not paint the picture that this is just money's falling off trees.
Like,
you know,
I mean, it's not. But like, here's the thing: I enjoy doing it. I make a decent living.
Well, I think it's real,
and we have a laugh.
Yeah, we have a laugh, man. I like the laugh. Yeah,
we're having a laugh.
Yeah, a laugh. I like that.
Anyway,
I think a lot of realtors, they paint that image that
fake,
dude, everybody's killing it. I'm the $1 million flipper.
Fake.
And right.
Get your fake tits out the Instagram.
That doesn't happen.
Wait.
It's real. People want real, man. That's what you're giving them. So yeah, I think you're passionate about what you do. I think you're very good at what you do. I really do. And this is just, and I think the content's there. And, you know, I think
get it done.
We want to earn your business. And I think that's what it comes down to. We would be very happy to earn your business. You threw out your number. Definitely, you know, like the channel, support the channel. And, you know, we'll be back here on Tuesday. You're not going to be here, though, right?
No, it'll be next Saturday, probably.
Yeah, next Saturday.
Or Tuesday. Maybe I'll do Tuesday this week.
Yeah, maybe you'll do Tuesday.
Yeah, let's do Tuesday this week.
Yeah, let's do Tuesday. And then what we'll do is we'll see what we can do with that. And then, any last words?
I don't know any Garth Brooks lyrics.
We should have brought up a Garth Brooks song to do
any
this.
last words? Yeah, just have a good weekend. Enjoy life.
Yeah.
Don't take anything personally.
Absolutely.
And then
man.
Don't die.
Don't die.
Don't die. Tomorrow's another day.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Okay?
Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Dan French. We appreciate you guys tuning in with us, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
All right. Thank you. Is that it?
That's it, my man.
I wasn't being insensitive about.
No, it's all good.